Alright, so what's up guys? So we were out here on another run, out here doing this craziness for all you guys to simply sit back, watch, admire, enjoy right as we make our way through this cloudy abyss. And we got some wind that's kind of interfering with our run right as we make it through this wonderful, wonderful place filled with nice, beautiful, youthful people. And you know, as far as you is concerned, right, it's all about you and me too. There are specific things that I wish that I knew when I was younger, right? Life lessons, experiences, so forth, right? Those experiences that shaped us, that made us or will make us into the person we've always envisioned ourselves to be. And you know, don't worry, because we are going to give you 4 lessons, you know, that we wish that we knew when we were younger. And you know, without further ado, we're going to go into lesson number 1, and that is to love yourself, right? Essentially, it's a lost and forgotten art, right? The topic of self-love, right? One in particular that is determined by you and you only, right, per se. And you know, as far as your journey is concerned, it's only going to be you and you. And oh fuck, damn it. Sorry, it's okay though. But in particular, you were a little bit rusty because we've been a few days out of work, out of commission. But as we were talking about, yeah, focusing on you before anyone else, right? It almost sounds very selfish, very cruel indeed. But you know, how can you love other people if you don't love yourself first, right? Because in particular, a person that is generous, right, is one in position of power, right, of great ability to give and so forth, right? And that takes work, right? It takes time to get into those positions, right, of you know, influence. And you know, as they say, right, some people may say money and power, right? I like to add power because people often associate the power with evil as well, right? It's not just money, right? They say money's the root of all evil. But what I say is that money only reveals the character, right? What's beneath the surface, right? Who you really are, right? So if you're someone that doesn't love yourself, that doesn't respect themselves, people are going to take advantage of you, right? They're going to use you. They, you know, are ultimately going to be like predators, right? You'll become the prey, right? Because just like in the animal kingdom, the human life works just like that, right? Where you have a bunch of vicious sharks floating around or swimming around, and you have the little fish that are running, that are scared of that shark. And you know, it may not be, in the human example, it may not be exactly, you know, the biggest, strongest, most physical form, right? Because we are humans, and the thing that makes us great is the ability, you know, to think for ourselves. So, you know, in terms of being the big shark or the alpha male, you really have to be on top, you know, of your game in regards to knowledge and intelligence, right? It's not what, you know, exactly about being super fit and big and strong and intimidating, but, you know, being smart and being, you know, cognizant of how to navigate the environment, right? Navigate the world. And, you know, per se, that is how we master other people, right? Through that self-love and, you know, extending it out to other people, right? Like an olive branch. And once you have that down, right, you love yourself, you got to realize that people's opinions are fickle, right? Not everyone is going to like you, right? It's impossible to please every person in the room, or in fact the world, right? So many people can get caught up in, you know, the comment sections, right? And, you know, people can give them a bunch of positive supporting comments, right? Oh, you're good, good job, good video. Or if you're a big guy, you know, you look big, you look strong. And those can often get forgotten, especially when you have those negative, you know, criticisms and opinions, right? They could really get to you if you're not expecting them, right? Like a punch. They're almost like mental punches, because if you're expecting a punch, it won't be, you know, as hard or brutal as a punch that hits you by surprise. That's why, you know, people often frown upon those sucker punches, right? What's a sucker punch? You go behind somebody and hit them by surprise, by when they're least expecting it, right? That's devastating. It's almost looked as a, you know, weak move. And, you know, particularly when people throw those at you, you want to change them from sucker punches into normal punches, right? Within a boxing match, right? Floyd Mayweather goes out to fight. He knows, you know, he's actually confident, he has to be, that he's going to win. But he knows that somewhere down the road, that fight, he's gonna get hit in the face or in the body, right? It's probably gonna be hard. And you have to expect it. You have to be ready for it. You have to take it on your chin and keep going, right? But the decision is yours, right? Do you want to let it affect you, or do you want to brush it aside and potentially learn from it, right? How great is that? Because those punches, you know, don't necessarily have to be the worst, right? Depending on how you look at them, right? They can shape you, make you into a better man, right? Teach you how to defend yourself, how to block and attack, right? And even how to punch better yourself, right? See new things, you know, that were delivered onto you, new punches on you. And, you know, ultimately from that, you have to learn, right? Something that I wish when I was younger, because I would obsess over what people thought about me, right? I would aim to try to please everybody in the room, right? Just like that happening, right? That dropped ball, right? Had that happened when I was younger, I probably would have screamed in anger and frustration, looked down upon myself, been embarrassed, right? Been hesitant to want to keep going and shrug it off. But, you know, essentially, that's not what it's about, right? And that's tip number 3. It's not about what happens to us, but our reactions to it, right? Life's filled with ups and downs, right? It's absolutely impossible for you to only get the good in life, no matter who you are, where you come from, right? Being born into billions of dollars or not, right? Because there's problems within having that money, right? A whole different set of problems, right? Who do you trust, right? Are your friends really your friends, or are they your friends because you have all this money? But are you attracting the right people for a relationship, right? A whole set of different issues arises, right? In press and publicity, right? Because people want to know how you did it. People want what you have. So you might realize that you have a big X, you know, on your back, a target, right? And people are trying to hit it and knock you down. And, you know, also, if you're not as fortunate, right? You're poor, you might think, you know, that the world is tough. It's impossible. It's hard, right? It may make you want to give up and get complacent with where you are. And of course, that complacency is not to be messed or mixed with, let's say, gratitude and happiness, right? Because no matter where you are, the decision to be happy and joyful, right? That's a better word. Being joyful, you know, is within you, right? That house or all these houses that we're passing by, it doesn't really matter the value of each house, right? Because depending on the circumstance and the person, you can throw, pretty much any person of not, great means, impoverished people, throw them in any one of these houses, and they'll probably be the happiest people alive. And, if you throw a person accustomed to billions of dollars in mansions on islands, they're probably not going to be so happy with this, right? They're going to be depressed. And, essentially it comes down to you, right? Because it's the same house, same value, same everything. But your reaction to it is dependent on you, right? When I was younger, all I wanted was the flashy cars, the flashy houses, right? Flashy stuff, right? And ultimately I realized that stuff was just how we described it, right? As things, objects, right? What's more important is human connections, feelings, right? Being one in nature, right? Taking a simple walk to the park or a run, right? Those are more fulfilling long-term than simply, buying a product, right? A vehicle, a house. And, essentially through the long term, we are really thankful for it and glad, that it happened. So that's even tip number 4, not to worry so much about money, especially when you're young. It can feel hard to come by, right? But realize that the money will come, right? Just be patient, put the work and put the effort, and eventually you will get there. So really think about that and consider, these 4 tips that we gave you, right? For when we were younger, we wish that we knew. And as always, say thank you and goodbye.